wanted to do a video on my personal favorite toners for blonde hair. I do a lot of blondes. Most of my clients are about like a level 9 or level 10, so super blonde. And I wanted to dive deep into my favorite Redken Shades EQ toner formulas. So I'll show you a few of my favorites and I'll tell you why. So one of my ones that I go to often is for my girls that want like that icy white, almost platinum look. And I use 10 VV, 10 NB, 10 T, and 10 P. And occasionally I'll throw in a little splash of 9 AA in there, depending if I just want that little bit of extra warmth. But the reason I love this is because all of those shades kind of even each other out. So you get the violet from the 10 VV, the more blue background from the 10 T and 10 P, and then you get the balance from the 10 NB and 9 AA if you choose to put it in there. And I'll insert a beautiful picture over here of some of my favorites. But this is always one, my clients love it. The feedback is literally so insane. The hair just has the most perfect pearly white reflect without being too ashy, because I know so many times when I started doing hair too, and still now, I'll overtone the hair and it just looks dull and there's no life to it. So using the combo of these, I think it's 5 shades, really just helps to make it literally look seamless. A classic that I love, if you want just something that's so golden and beautiful and just like, I say supermodel blonde, 10G, 10GI, and 10N, oh my gosh. Especially if your client is a natural level 7 or above, this literally gives them the most beautiful golden, just like supermodel blonde. Like I said, it is literally stunning. I'll insert a picture of this one as well. The hair literally will glow from the inside out. It'll stop people on the streets. One of my favorites, so simple too. The gold in the G and the GI literally has the most perfect reflect. When I first started doing hair, I was kind of nervous to dip into the Gs because I was like, oh my gosh, like what if they turn out yellow? Fear not, the Gs aren't too strong. So I felt comfortable enough mixing the 10G with the 10GI and the 10N just to create the most perfect base. And you guys need to try this one for real. You will not be disappointed. So another really good one, if you have a client that comes in and they don't want something too icy, but they also don't want something too warm, they kind of want that like middle ground of just like creamy yet bright, almost like vanilla-y, if you will. And my favorite for this one that I found is 10 NB, 10 GI, and 10 GB. The combo of these three literally gives it the most perfect, like, I guess vanilla is a great word, because it's creamy and bright without being too gold or too icy or too white. It is literally like the perfect middle ground for those super neutral, creamy pieces that you see in hair. And I'll insert a picture of this one too. This literally, I was so happy with how this hair turned out. And it was my first time actually using this formula and I was kind of nervous. Just because I get nervous with the GBs, I don't use them often. But I thought, you know, like what could go wrong? Like I'm just gonna balance out the neutral and the gold and add a little bit of like a goldy beige in, and it literally turned out stunning. Another one that I will reach for so often is 10GI, 10VG, and 9N. And this one too is just so pretty because you get the violet in there, you get the gold, but nothing overpowers each other. So they all kind of complement each other really well. You get the reflect from the gold with a little bit of icy, more ashy tones from the V's. And then once again, it all balances out with the ends. This is for your clients that want something a little bit sandier, more of like a natural blonde, if you will. So this is my sister. If you're one of my clients, you know, I always say she's my biggest pain in the butt client. Love her to death, but we all know how it is when you do family members. They literally are just, they're different, they're out of this world. But her hair always turns out really good. So this combo is 9V, 9GI, and 9NB. I like using the 9s on her because her hair doesn't usually lift to the perfect clean 10. She has a darker base naturally, but I just could never get her to that perfect lift. But I try every time. But this one I feel like gives like a really natural finish and has a little bit more warmth in there compared to some of my other formulas where you know, they're super platinum or super white. This one is a little bit sandier, but more on the warmer side. So it's not like a true sandy neutral or like a true beigey sand. It's more of that warmer sandy tone that once again reflects awesome in the light. Using the V's with the NBs is so good, along with the GIs as well. That's a combo that you can't go wrong with. My last favorite one is 10NW, 10GI, and 10VV. This combo, you guys, when I first tried this, I was shocked. Usually I'll mix at least like, I would say 3 or more shades in my formulas. And this time I just kept it at 3. I was like, let's just keep it like plain, simple, basic. And oh my gosh, this literally turned out so beautiful. She has a little bit more of a gray tone to her, a whitey gray, which I was surprised by using the NWs. But I feel like compared to a GB, where I would usually reach for something that has more of the gold base, the NW had more of the neutral undertones with just a little bit of a hint of warmth, and it literally is absolutely stunning. Alrighty guys, that is all for today's video. Let me know if you have any questions about any of my formulas. I usually like to play around with my formulas, so it's rarely ever that I reach for the same one, except for the first one in this video. It is literally, try it. Like, please just try it. That's my go-to. It's so good. But let me know if you have any questions, comments, anything about Redken Shades EQ, let me know. I'd love to answer. Thanks, guys.